भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. O Lord, please keep us healthy. May our body and our sense organs and the limbs of the body be healthy. Let us all do good. Let us all see good. Let us all hear good. Om. Peace, peace, peace. Dear devotees, if you remember, we were discussing the third question actually. So, what is the origin of the prana? How it enters into the being and how it sustains in the body and how it departs the body. Like the 5 or 6 questions were there and we discussed in detail in the previous class. Now, we will be going to discuss the functionalities of the prana. When I was reading the Upanishad portion, which we are going to discuss today, 2-3 important things which I felt it very interesting. Now, in our school days, our science teacher taught us, or he defined the science, empirical science. What is science? Science is search for truth. So science is a subject, or it is a knowledge, or it is a tool which is always struggling or which is striving to search for truth. From this angle, if you see from the Vedanta point of view, or even from the Indian wisdom point of view, Indian philosophy point of view, there is no problem between empirical science and the spiritual science. In the West, and especially in the Semitic religions, for them, science and religion cannot go together. That's why science and religion are complementary or contradictory to each other. That's a huge topic, often discussed. 100 years before, this was one of the main topic of discussion for a quite few philosophers. And even when Galileo gave the heliocenter instead of geocenter, that is sun in the middle, not earth in the middle, and he was put under bars. So many were put under bars or many were even burnt or killed because it is going against their religious views. So science and religion is contradictory for them. But in the Indian philosophy or Indian wisdom, science and as well as the religion or the spirituality or the philosophy, they are complementary to each other. Swami Vivekananda, in one of his talk, he beautifully puts it, wherever the empirical science stops, the spiritual science starts. Or other words, the empirical science is searching for the truth externally, and the spiritual science is searching the truth internally. So these are very generic statements, it looks like, but it is a very great revelations. And now, when we see the sloka number 5 to 8 or 9, we can see how the rishis were able to understand and discuss and speak about the physiology of the human body. So where they're discussing about the philosophy or the highest wisdom, but still, in spite of that, they also discuss the intricacies of the human body or human anatomy or even the earth or even the creation of the world or creation of the universe and whatnot. So when we read all these things, so we can understand very well that science and spirituality, they were never contrary to each other. They were complementary to each other in the Indian wisdom or with the rishis. Because that is the meaning of the rishi. Who is rishi? Rishi is nothing but scientist. One who searches for truth, either externally or internally. Now, regarding the prana, we are discussing. So prana also can be translated into as energy. Now, the prana based on the function, it has been divided into 5 types, we all know. prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana. Now these 5 pranas, what are the nature? What are the functions? And where does they stay has been discussed in the three shlokas. So before entering it, just you try to remember prana. Prana has been divided into 5 based on its functions. The first division is called prana itself. So that prana is the function is what respiratory system. Inhalation and exhalation we do the prana. So that is called prana, and it stays in eyes, ears, nose, and the mouth. Basically, in the head portion, according to the Upanishads. Then the apana, the second functional division of the prana is what apana. Apana does the work of excretion, cleaning up process. Then the third functional division of the prana is what vyana. So vyana does the circulatory system. So energy, it distributes the energy and it helps for circulation of the blood, circulation of the energy, circulation of all the things, whatever. Then the fourth is what samana. We all eat and it gets digested. So the digestion process or the manufacture process, the energy manufacturing division, which is in the stomach, is called samana. And now this apana, excretory, it should be always in the anus and the genitals. Vyana, circulatory system, since it is all pervasive, means it is in the entire body, from the head to toe. Now samana, it is the digestive system, digestive function. So where it should be? Obviously, it should be in the stomach. And the fifth is what? Udana. So udana, 2 functions. One is immunity system. The other is it gets activated only during our death. Like for an example, there will be a special arrow or a special missile in the country, which is used at a very dangerous position. So udana gets activated during the time of death. So, or the final departure. So it stays from the toe to head, it seems. So let us see in the shloka how beautifully they explain. Payu upastepanam chakshushrotro mukha nasikabhyam pranaha swayam pratishtate madhye tu samanaha yesha hi etad uttamannam samam nayati tasmadetaha saptarchisho bhavanti. So prana, apana, samana. 3 functions. What are the functions of the prana, apana, and samana, and what is the care of address, or what is the residential address of this prana, apana, and samana is being discussed in this particular shloka number 5. Okay, now payu upaste apanam. So apana prana shakti, removal of the waste. Removal of the waste through urine and whatever. So apana prana shakti, removal of the waste, which is solid and liquid both, are evacuating power, and this is called apana. And where it is there? Payu and upaste. 7th case, saptam vibhakti, payu upaste. It resides, it stays in the anus and the genitals. Payu means anus, upastha means genitals. So this apana prana shakti is what it does, the excretions function it takes care, and the care of address, the residential address of the apana is what? Payu and upastha, anus and the genitals. Okay. Now, pranaha swayam. Swayam pranaha, the prana himself. Why the prana himself? Because he is the leading person actually. Prana has been, just based on the function, it has been subdivided into 5 types. Otherwise, only one prana only. So prana swayam, prana himself. Like Prime Minister himself will have some portfolios. Sometimes finance he can have, or military, or foreign, or home, something like that in the cabinet portfolios. So prana swayam is like a prime minister, or is a ruler, is a chief. And he also has got some portfolios. What are the portfolios? And where does he stay? King stays in the palace. Prime Minister stay in the Prime Minister's residence, and he has got office also. So what is the Prime Minister residence, and where is the Prime Minister's residence, and where is the Prime Minister's office? If you ask, So what is the portfolio is keeping? A function is what? Inhalation and the exhalation. Okay. And where is the residence? Chakshuhu, Shrotre, Mukha, Nasikabhyam. Chakshu, eyes, Shrotre, ears, and Mukha means mouth here, basically. Nasika means nostrils, nose or nostrils. So this Prana Shakti stays in the eyes and the ears and in the nose and in the mouth. So Swayam Pratishtate. These are all staying. And Madhye tu Samanaha. And Madhye, in between Madhya Pradesh, I keep on saying that after the lunch or the dinner, if you have got a talk or if you are here to talk, if you have to hear any lecture or discourse, it is very difficult. Why? After eating the food, consuming the food, your Madhya Pradesh, that is your stomach, gets activated. Your energy is gone there. Because of that, Uttar Pradesh, the head become dull. So concentration may go down. I may feel sleepy. I don't feel active. So here, Madhye tu Samanaha. So prana is over, apana is over, and samana, where does he stay? He stays in Madhye. Madhye means in the stomach or in the navel portion. Stomach including the navel portion, he stays. So what does he do? He does the digestion system. He cooks actually. Now, one is either we have taken a raw food or a cooked food. So one processing of the food is over once. Now, when we eat it, I eat a rasagulla, I eat a burger, or I eat a what you say, cake, or a pastries, or a rice and dal, or pancake, something. They are all processed food. I am consuming it, but when I consume it, how does I get energy? We don't get energy directly from the cake. In the stomach, there is a process. We all know that. How? Then the food is been separated into carbohydrates, proteins, amino acids, fat, glucose, or whatever. Then from that energy, from that grass, then it is called, the energy will be circulated. So this digestion process is done by samana. That's the reason it is staying in the stomach and the navel portion. Yeshaha, this samana, Esha hi etat utam annam. This is utam is a very important word here, or interesting word. Utam means it is ahuti, offering. So Eshaha means to this samana, how this food is given? Food is been poured, food is been dumped. We could have said. We always dump into our stomach like we dump the waste in the dustbin. Sometimes we eat so much. It is like dumping the food into my stomach. But here the Rishi is using Eshaha yetam yetad hutam annam. Annam means not only rice, annam means food. The food has been offered. Food has been offered. Just like for an example, any homa or any yagna you do, you offer the ghee. Om agnaye swaha, idam agnaye namama. So whatever I'm offering this oblation, this is for Agni or this is for Surya. It is not for me. So with reverence, we are offering that. So here, Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva. So the God is in the form of Vaishvanara, Naro Bhutva. He's staying in the human being in my stomach. So when I eating means I am offering the food as a sacrifice. So we should not eat for just taste alone or not for taste. It is a puja, it is a worship. That is the reason when we start a food, we chant a mantra. Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavihi, Brahmagno, Brahmanahutam, Brahmaiva tena gantavyam, Brahma karma samadhina. Brahmarpanam. The act of offering is what Brahman. Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavihi. The oblations which we are going to offer, that is also Brahman, Havis. Here maybe pizza, maybe burger, maybe cake or a rice or a fruits or vegetables, the oblations, objects which you are going to offer, that is also Brahman. Brahmarpanam, Brahmagno. Now I am offering into that Agni, fire. Here is called fire. So that fire is also in the form of Brahman. Brahman avutam, even the act of sacrifice. Brahmaiva tena gantavyam. Finally it ends with Brahman. Brahmaiva tena gantavyam. Brahma karma samadhina. let everything end with Brahma. So everything is what Brahman there means everything is what divine. So eating, even consuming the food, eating the food is a spiritual journey, is a spiritual act for us. Sometimes we eat, we see mobile, we hear, watch TVs, we talk, and we keep on eating. But so our Vedas, scriptures say that we should be mindful while eating. And while eating, while consuming the food, we should be mindful. And not only that, we should try to think some good thoughts, higher thoughts. Why? The external food is taking care of my energy. And the food means what? Whatever you receive from your sense organs, everything is considered as food. For example, you are watching my farm here. So your sense organ is giving the food for you. That is also food. Now you are hearing my talk or Upanishadic discussions. That is also food. You are feeling heat or cold. That is also food. So it is the food. It is not only we eat, whatever consume, that is not the food. Whatever you receive from sense organs, everything is considered as food. So our life should be like a yagna. So means our life is like a sacrifice to the God. Means everything should be spiritual. So that's why hutam, this one word hutam can give such a beautiful explanation, beautiful idea. So don't eat just for taste or just for time pass or just for something else. Because you are consuming the food, it is an act of sacrifice, act of worship to the God who is in your stomach in the form of Vaishvanara. And this beautiful idea also has been discussed in the Sadhana Panchakam in the last subject which I was discussing. We should take the food as a medicine. Okay. So etat hutam annam. All that is offered, all that food is offered into that Agni, samam nayati. Samam nayati means distributes equally. There is no partiality. Okay, for you 2%, for you 10%, for you 8%, for you 25%. No. So the samana prana, it distributes the energy equally. Top from my head to the toe, from the fingers and every part of the body, it distributes the energy equally. Samam nayati. It distributes equally. Tasmat, therefore, because of this generated energy, because the food, when we consume, the energy has been generated. Tasmat, etaha saptarchisho bhavanti. So these seven flames are lost in the head. Now, this is a very symbolic and figurative usage. Now, what is this we will do? First, I will try to do saptarchisha. Sapta archisha. What is the Sapta Archishaha? Seven flames. What are the seven flames? In the Vedic sacrifices, when you are doing the sacrifice, there will be seven types of flame it comes, it seems. Now, keeping that in the mind, they are using the seven flames. Now here, seven flames are what seven flames here? Now, two eyes, two ears, two nostrils, and mouth. So five Jnanendriyas we have got. Two ears and two two eyes and two ears and two nostrils and mouth and skin is also there. Now the tongue has got taste buds and skin also. As a result, they have taken only four, which goes to two eyes, two ears, two nostrils, and one tongue, which will be seven. So saptarchishaha bhavanti. So seven flames, like fire gives the light for us. So similarly, these seven sense organs is giving the light for us. Okay, and it needs energy, and that energy has been supplied by samana prana because it digests it. Now you see how figuratively Upanishad is telling and how beautiful it is. And when we are fasting, what happens? Slowly, slowly, we start becoming weak. And that's why our sense organs sometimes it may not behave properly because the energy supply has been reduced. For half a day and all, okay. 1 or 2 days, if you don't take, then afterwards, slowly you start becoming weak. You may not be able to hear properly, think properly, work properly, and all, which we know. Okay. So prana, apana, and samana has been discussed in the fifth sloka. In the sixth sloka, vyana is discussed. Let us see. Rudihesha atma अत्रैददेकशतं नाडीनां तासां शतं शतं एकैकस्यां Dva saptatihi, tva saptatihi, pratishakan idam sahasrani bhavanti asu vyanascharati. This is a very interesting shloka. How physical anatomy, human anatomy has been discussed here. We will see, we will go deep, then we'll understand. Now, how does this prana stay in the body? That was one of the question. Now that's where the answer has been told now. So where this prana stays, if you ask, it stays in the hridaya, in the heart it seems. The heart is the central hub for the prana. And according to the Upanishads or the Veda Upanishads, so hridaya, our heart, has got two things. All the nerves are connected from this heart. Like for an example, if you take a wheel, in the wheel there will be in between like a small tube, like from there all the spokes are connected to the rim actually. In the between hub like we can say. So hridaya is a hub. From here all the nervous system has been connected, it seems. That is according to Upanishads. And not only that, and where is the mind? Because the mind is what? The reflecting medium for the Atman. We all know that. In Drugdrishya Viveka, we have discussed all these things. Whoever knows Drugdrishya Viveka, you will be knowing this. So, the mind, where is this mind actually? According to the Upanishads, the residence is the heart and the working place is what? The brain. In the science, the mind is in the brain actually, for the science. Now, whether true or not true, I'm not going to speak. According to the empirical science, the mind is in the brain actually. Now, according to the Upanishads, the mind is in the heart. That is its residence, it stays, and its working place, its office is called the brain, according to the Upanishads. That's why Rudhi Hesha Atma. Rudhi Yesha Atma. So, Rudhi, the heart, Yeshahi Atma, the heart is the self. What do you mean by that? Means the heart is the center for this prana shakti or for the subtle body. Here Atma means subtle body or the reflected consciousness. The heart is the place where the reflected consciousness gets activated. Means your mind is, the place of the mind is what? The heart actually. Okay. Atra. Atra means where? Here. Here means where? In the heart. Atra etat eka shatam nadinam. In the heart, there are eka shatam. Shatam eka. Shatam 100 eka 1. 100 plus 1. 101 nadinam. So the heart is connected with the 101 nerves, it seems. And these 101 nerves are the main nerves. For example, we have got a motorways or a national highways, we have got state highways, and we have got village roads and all, isn't it? Now, these 101 are main roads, or the motorways, or the national highways, you can say. So, etat ekashatam nadinam. So, this 101 nerves are emerged as a primary in nature, okay? Tasam, of those chief nerves, Ekakasya. Ekaikasya. Ekaikasya means 101 nerves are there. Each nerve, shatam shatam. So every nerve has got 100 divisions, 100 divisions, shatam shatam. So 101 into 100. That means 10,000 100 medium nerves are there, or secondary nerves are there, according to the Prashna Upanishad. Okay. Then dva saptatihi, 72, 72. So 10,000 100 narrows into 72,000 narrows. This is a tertiary nerves for an example. 10,000 100 into 72,000 is equal to 727.2 million. 727 million nerves are there. Big, small, primary, secondary, tertiary, small, big, all the nerves put together, 727 million nerves are there. Now, if you see in the science, I'm not very sure whether they tell so much. At least they sell all the nerves if put together, it goes like 150 kilometers. But whether it is 727 million or 600 million or 100 million or 50,000, 10,000 is a interesting thing. But they were able to think and they were able to find out so many nerves we have got. We think our rishis means they all meditate, they think only God, they think about consciousness, and they get emancipation. They're always bothered about that. That's what we think. But if you see here in the Upanishads, they are speaking of the physical anatomy, human anatomy, and we have got Garbhopanishad. In the Garbhopanishad, how the embryo develops from the month 1 to month 9, they have been discussed there. That's where I say science and spirituality, they are not contradictory to us. To us means for the Upanishads, for the Indians, Indian wisdom, basically. So basically, the Rishi is telling 727 million nerves we have got, and this through that Vyana, the Vyana Prana Shakti is working. Vyana means what? The etymology meaning of the Vyana means all pervasiveness. So this Vyana Prana Shakti from the top of your head to the toe, and it is pervading entire body. So it is pervading entire body where? In your every nerve. And how many nerves are there? 727 million nerves are there according to the Prashna Upanishad or Pipilada. So here only the Shakti comes into picture according to me. Highest form of intellect, highest form of what you say, intuitive power. They didn't have microscope and telescope probably, but still they were able to find out all these things. How? Because they, as Swami Vivekananda tells, they made the mind the wonderful instrument which is given by the God. They made the mind as an instrument, and they started studying the mind. As a result, the entire secret behind the universe and behind every subject they were able to understand. So now here the Pipilada is telling 727 million nerves are there in our body, and among these nerves, Vyanaha Charati, Asu, means among the nerves, Vyanaha Charati. So the Vyana Prana Shakti is traveling in this 727 million nerves. So what is the Vyana? Means it supplies the energy to the every nook and corner of the body. So it supplies the energy. It also helps for our blood circulation. In the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, these things are discussed in much more in detail. And according to them, in the dream state, our prana shakti will be traveling into this all these nerve systems. Okay. Now, prana, apana over, vyana over, samana over. One last is what? Udana is left over. Now, we will try to discuss udana. So when udana gets activated, means what? The person is going to end his life, end his journey. He is going to die. He means what? Not the self, the embodied self, the jivatma. Athaikodva udana punyena punyam lokam nayati papena papam ubhabhyameva manushya lokam. So udana prana is discussed here. So now Vyana is also all pervasive, I told. Vyana is pervading entire body from top head to the toe. Now Udana is also all pervasive. Udana is also pervading the entire body, but it is opposite. It is from toe to head, because this Udana has got the pulling power. So during the death, it pulls out all our indriyas, all our karmendriyas, jnanendriyas, and the prana, manas, buddhi, chitta, ahankara. It pulls the entire mechanism, and it takes out the sukshma sharira from the physical body. So when a person dies, what happens? How a person dies? So there is a mechanism. What is the mechanism? At the time of death, the Udana Prana Shakti gets activated. Then slowly it pulls all the energy from every nerve, from 727 million nerves. It pulls out all the energy, and it comes and stays in the Hridaya. And from there, either from the eyes or from the ears or from the nose or from the mouth or through the genitals. Through the genitals, for a common man, it goes out. So all the power has been pulled out to your heart. From the heart, from any one of either eyes or ear or a nose or a tongue or through your genitals, it goes out. Whereas for the yogi, for the Brahmagnani, for the yogi, it goes to the heart, okay? From the heart, it enters to that one nadi called Sushumna nadi, and through Sushumna nadi, and it goes to the, in the between of the throat, and it goes to the tip of the head, and the Sushumna canal gets, Sahasrara gets open. From there, his prana pakshi goes away. His subtle body exits the physical body. How to understand this? Is there any experience, or can we say can anyone has seen? Yes. In Swami Vivekananda case, it is seen very clearly. Why? Because when Swami Vivekananda passed away, a small opening was there, and very small opening, and the blood has oozed out. Where? From the tip of the head. So while because he was Ichamani, at his will he could leave the body. So at the final end, what he said, he withdrew the power, and he concentrated and he withdrew the power, and that power went into the heart and through the Sushumna, and it went to Sahasrara, and it went out. As a result, small little blood has come out from his tip of the head. So what all things the Upanishads are telling, it is not mere hypothetical argument. It is not mere imagination. Rather, it is true. It is become experienceable, and lot of yogis have experienced. So Udana, one is immunity, the power of immunity. One is a secondary function. The main action is what? It gets activated during the time of death, and it pulls out the subtle body from the physical body. So how death happens, that is told beautifully here. Okay, atha. Atha means now. Now then. Now means what? At the time of death. Atha ekaya. Ekaya means through this 100 nerves. Urdhvam udanaha. Udana prana urdhvaha. It has got an upward trend. It has got an upward trend. What it does, it pulls out all the energy that has to be added. It pulls out all the energy, and it removes the subtle body from the physical body. Okay, fine. Now the subtle body has exited the physical body. Now next what? Life before death or life after death, we discuss. Now life after death has been told in a very simple way. So punyena punyalokam nayati. Now that embodied soul, embodied self, he has done lot of punya karma, good deeds. He has practiced truth. He is ethical. He is moral. He has helped people. He has done lot of charity. He is full of compassion, and lot of noble deeds, noble actions he has done. So he is with full of righteous person, noble person. Such a person dies. What happened? Punyena punyam lokam nayati. Because he has got lot of surplus in his account, there's a lot of surplus. As a result, he goes to the punya loka, means the above worlds. So according to the Vedic belief, so the earth is in the middle, above worlds are 6 and below worlds are 7. So the more and more you go above, and the happiness is more and more subtle and more intense. So the more and more you get virtues and noble deeds when you do, there is a chance for you means for the subtle body to go to the above worlds. And if you do more and more sin, more and more wrong actions, bad actions, evil actions, either you will go to hell or you will go to the below worlds. The below worlds means they are more and more grosser. Either more and more grosser. So punyena punyam lokam nayati. If you have done lot of punya, say 80, 90% or 95, 98%, say something, or maybe 75 and above, distinction we can say. If your distinction, your score is 75 and above in the punya, then you may go to swarga or above worlds. Okay? Papena papam. Now you've got 75% of sin or 80% of sin or more than that, then you go to the hell, or you go to the, the papa worlds or the below worlds. Okay. Now there is a 50-50, like 40-60, 50-50, something like that. Then what happens to them? Now I have got 50% of virtual deeds, noble deeds, and I have got 50% of sinful actions, wrong actions, evil actions. Then what happens? Such a person, or 60-40, 40-60 you can take, such a people, they will take birth in the Manushya Loka. They will take birth in the earth. So if you got 75 and above punya, you will go to above worlds. And if you got papa, the sin or the evil results, evil actions results 75 and above, you will go to below worlds. Then you got both in a 50-50, 60-40, 40-60 way. Then you will take you birth in this human, as a human being in this human being or not, I don't know. At least in the earth you take, and then your life journey continues. So that's where now human being is a mixture of good and bad, right and wrong. Then what to do? Then we have to increase our punya, increase our good actions, good thoughts, good emotions, good feelings more and more. Then what happens? Then we'll go above worlds. Or if I don't want any more world, going to above world and enjoying there, coming back again, I don't want means, then they say, experience the self or experience the God, then you will not come back. Why? Because when I get a Brahma Gnana or when I get a Atma Gnana, then when at the departure, all my fruits of action has been exhausted. When there is no fuel, then the vehicle will not go. Vehicle cannot go further. So similarly, the fuel called karma phala, the fruits of action, the result of action is no more. Then what happens? When this subtle body leaves the physical body, it gets disintegrated. What are the subtle bodies made up of the 5 elements? And they go to the respective 5 elements, and no more birth and death. Just like Ganges goes and merges with the Bay of Bengal, then the Ganges loses its existence, individual existence. So similarly, when I experience the self or experience the God after the death, I will not have my individual existence, and I will no more have birth and death. If you want to go and enjoy still more better enjoyments, then do good actions and go to the above worlds. If you do wrong actions, then you will suffer in the below worlds or in the hell. Now, if you have got mixture, then you will take birth in the this earth. Now, I don't want to go above world or below world. I don't want birth and death. The cycle of transmigration, if you say, then Upanishad says, yes, have the self-knowledge. Have the self-knowledge means what? Experience the self. I am that self. Or remove the ignorance, or experience the God, then you will not have any more birth and death. Then you will be free person. Emancipation or mukti or kaivalya, one can be attained. So these are the 5 actions, or the actions or the functions of the prana. Now, interestingly, I thought I will discuss the last 2-3 shlokas also. I think now time is up. So in the next three shlokas, interestingly, the Rishi connects after discussing the pranas, 5 types of pranas or 5 functional divisions of prana and the nature and the functions. Now he discusses how this prana is manifesting in this external world. For example, in the form of Surya, in the form of Akasha, in the form of Vayu. Akasha means space, Vayu means wind or air, in the form of Agni or fire, in the form of sun, in the form of earth. And how the prana is manifested in these 5 principles, and how these 5 principles and our 5 pranas, which is in the human body, how they are interconnected is very, very interesting. Now, for the sun god, the sun and our eyes both are interconnected. And the eye is the presiding deity of the eye is sun. Upanishad says. It looks very symbolical now when we read the next slokas, and when we think and when we go deeply inside that, we can understand how there is a scientific connection between the prana shakti exhibited or manifested as Surya and the prana shakti which is exhibited in the form of eye or the power. There's a very interesting connections. So we will try to discuss in the next class. So when is the next class? Not the next Thursday. I will be traveling to US on the next Monday, and I'll be only returning in the May month. That is almost May 12th. So almost like 1.5 months, almost 6 weeks, 5 to 6 weeks, there'll be no classes. I'm sorry. So after the 6 weeks, after my retirement, and again we will try to resume this Prashnoprashad class. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Yeah, if you got any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Yeah, hi Swami. This is David Martinez.
Yes, David.
Can you, you can hear me good because I have some earphones on. Um, yeah, thank you. I wanted to thank you for recording these talks because I do find that listening to them again and maybe again is very helpful. I often discover that you're saying a lot more than I think you are on the first round. So thank you very much for that. Um, I did have a question about the whole idea of, living the life of Papa, right? And then suddenly being exposed to knowledge, and, realizing some of these ideas about what happens, when the body perishes. But I think you answered it in the sense that, like, for example, a person grows up in a society, I suppose, because of his prior karma that is very bent on papa, sin. Um, I often feel that very much in the United States, by the way. Uh, but, you know, and there's only so much he can do because he's older in age in terms of punya. But I think you clarified that knowledge itself serves to uh, to help, I guess, loosen the attachments that one has to those lower worlds. So your discussion on that was very good. I appreciate it. But I do have a kind of a technical question for you.
Mhm.
Um, and it's just because I'm interested in the language and the words and stuff like that. So I noticed the word dakshina and uttaraf appear in different forms. Sometimes they mean right and left, or left and right, dakshina, uttara. I'm sorry, the other way around. And then sometimes they mean north and south. Uh, and then sometimes uttaraf means the next one or the last one. But I'm wondering, is it because, like, if you're facing east and you stick your right hand out, your right hand would be pointing south, and if you put your left hand out, it would be facing north. Is that the idea? Like, is that where they get that?
Yeah, you can think like that also, because yeah, one is that, and the second is contextually. See how the language is developed. It is by usage.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a
Mm-hmm.
Rishi or a wise man has used. Now, Dakshina means the south. Of course, that is the one which is the important meaning, the formal meaning. And apart from that, it is also called right. It is also called down. It is also called second. So these are all
Right.
contextually used in the scriptures or in the poetries or in the
Mm-hmm.
different text. So that's how it has been taken.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
also sometimes these are all, what are the roots of these words also comes into picture sometimes. So based on the root in the Sanskrit, every word, verb or a noun has been formed from the roots actually called dhatus. Now the one dhatu or one root can have two, three shades of meaning. So based on that also we can give different meanings.
Mm-hmm.
And apart from that, from with the dhatu, sorry, I'm going bit Sanskrit grammar, technical. So along with the verb, there are prefixes and suffixes. So these
Mm-hmm.
prefixes and suffixes also have got some meanings. So because of that also some meanings are being changed, or different shades of meaning also we do get it. So one is
Okay.
usage, the other is because of the root meaning of the root word meaning. Second is, and the third is what has been added into that prefix and suffix. Because of that also we can get a different shades of meaning.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Does anyone else have any questions? I have one more, but I'm willing to, have somebody else answer a question.
I have one question. Pranam Swamiji, Rajarshi here. Swamiji, I had this question that we discussed about prana, apana, vyana, and we saw how it covers respiratory system, excretion, digestion, circulation, etc. But I was wondering what powers the mind?
Okay.
And
Okay.
sorry for and the other question is about avatara leaving his body. Like you said, when a Brahmagyani leaves the body, the subtle body destroys. But when
Mm,
an avatara leaves the body, the
mm,
avatara can decide to come back again.
mm.
So So in that case, also the subtle body destroys. So these are the two questions.
Yes. Now, so according to the Vedanta, Upanishads, based on the Vedanta means based on the Upanishads, for us, mind is also one more sense organ. Now we have got 5 sense organs of knowledge, Jnanendriyas, and 5 sense organs of action, that is Karmendriya, and the 11th sense organ is what? Mind. Okay, and based on its function, it has been divided into 4 parts. Mana, doubting faculty, then Buddhi, deciding faculty, Chitta, that is memory function, memory faculty, and the Aham is what? The sense of I-ness. Okay, this mind is also one sense organ. And this mind is the part of the subtle body. Okay, so since it is a part of subtle body, and how does this mind get activated? If you ask, the mind gets activated because of prana shakti only. That's where you see, even for example, when we say devil, ghost, and all, what does it mean? It is nothing but the subtle body. No, they are not eating like us, but still this prana shakti, devils can move, travel, and all. They can create some problems. They can help us. They can create problems. We hear so many stories. How? How they are able to do? They are not consuming the food like us, but still they are getting energy. They are to act and to think and etc. How is it possible? Because they have got that prana shakti. So mind is also getting activated, or the functional capacity. It is done how? Because of the prana shakti. Now even we can see very similar way. Now you are fasting. Now this is Chaitra Navratri now, auspicious 9 days. So some of you might have a practice of fasting. Now, you were fasting, but 2-3 days just you took some water or tender coconut water or fruits or whatever. So basically, you don't have a solid food. As a result, you are feeling external tiredness, or you might not feel tiredness, external tiredness, but sometimes your sense organs and your mind is not active same way, isn't it? The way how you used to think fast, how you used to work fast, now you are not doing. One is physical action is not possible for you because of the lack of solid food. And also sometimes your thinking also may go slow, isn't it? For example, I have experienced that when we climb Himalayas and all. I went to Tapovan and all, which is at 21,000 feet or even still higher. So there, because of the lack of oxygen, I was feeling nausea or headache or whatever. Immediately, like how we think in the normal plane, sometimes we were not able to think immediately so fast because the lack of oxygen, we say. Oxygen also provides energy, as we all know that. So because the energy supply has been lessened, it has been less, that's the reason your mind is also not very active. So mind also gets energy through prana shakti only. Okay. So what was your second question? Sorry.
The second question was about Avatara leaving the body.
Just a minute, I'll put. Yes. So it's an interesting point. Now, how do we take birth? Now, we take birth. Are we interested? Okay, I'm interested. I took birth. Now I understood all these problems, life problems or challenges or etc. etc. I don't want to take birth. Okay, this will let this be the last life and I die and I will not take birth. You may decide, you may think, but you don't have a choice. Why? Because still the residue is left out. The karma phala, the fruits of action accumulated either in this life or in the previous life. Since it is there, you don't have a choice. You have to come and work. For example, you are working in a company. 1 or 2 days you may take leave, or few days sick leave or whatever, week or month or whatever, according to the policy. Afterwards, if I like, I will come and work. If I don't like, I will not come and work. If you say, then they will say, thank you, tata, bye-bye, because you don't have a choice. So similarly, normal beings, individual beings, all of us, we don't have a choice. Till either experiencing the God or experiencing the self, we have to take birth and we have to experience our fruits of action, and then we have to die and again taking birth. Okay. Now with the, what do you say, from the Avatara Purushas, incarnations and prophets, what happens? Now, they don't have any residue of the actions. They don't have any accumulated results of the actions. Then how do they take birth? It is by their will. The God thinks, let me go and help the people. It is by his own will, by his own desire, he takes the birth. Okay. Now he performs his Leela or drama, whatever the drama, he makes a plan. Okay, I will come and I will do this drama. He does drama. Sri Ramakrishna, he came with his drama party and he had a blueprint, like he did drama and he left. Now, what happens to him? Now, Sankhya gives a very beautiful explanation, scientific explanation. They are called Adhikarika Purushas or Prakritilaya Purushas. Now, for example, you are a greatest yogi, one of us greatest yogi. Okay. But somehow he had a desire that he wants to live in a subtle form. But he gets a Purusha Prakriti Bheda Gnana, according to the Sankhya. I am different from Prakriti. I am not the Prakriti. I am the Purusha. Though he gets the Gnana, he is liberated because he had a desire he wants to live. Even he leaves a physical body, but he lives in this Prakriti, in the nature, in the subtle form. Till when? Till the end of the creation, cycle of creation. It can take thousands of years. Till then, one can sustain. That's what Sankhya tells very scientifically. Okay. Now, in the Avatara Purusha, what happens? Once they leave the body, they maintain that individualness to protect the people, to protect the devotees, to guide them. Not it is out of ignorance, out of their own will. Out of their own will. I will give a simple example probably. For example, we are all working. We are all working. Why? Because we have to earn. Now, for an example, I'm a CEO of company. If I wish, I will work. If I don't wish, I will not work for 1 or 2 or 3 days for whatever. Isn't it? Now, employees don't have that. I mean, limited freedom will be there, no doubt, but not more than that. So he's like a CEO of the company. When he wishes, he will come. When he wishes, he will leave. So they are not taken birth out of because of their karma phala, because of the fruits of action, because out of compassion, out of to help the people, to redeem the difficulties or sorrows of the people, to show the path once more, they take the birth. And they perform their actions, they perform their, planned actions, and they leave. Yeah. Also, with this, your first question, probably I can tell also with the karma and other things. See, life is with full of chances and choices.
Mm-hmm.
I've taken a birth as a human being. That itself is a wonderful chance for us, actually. Because why I am telling this, many times people think wrongly about karma, that is action, as a fatalistic theory. It is
Mm-hmm.
not a fatalistic theory. It is the science of infinite possibilities, I say always.
Yes.
No, I am good because of my previous actions. I am bad because of my previous actions. That means whatever I do, it decides my present and future. So whatever I am, that is the result of my past, and whatever I'm going to do, that decides my future. So that is in our hands. So I am the creator of my destiny, actually. So
Mm-hmm.
as a result, life is full of chances. Okay, the chance has been given for me, or my karma has given for me. Now life is full of choices. I can be ethical and unethical. I can be moral or immoral. I can be active. I can be lazy. I can be worldly minded. I can be spiritual minded. Now you had a choice. You could have attended my class. You could have used the time, same time, for some other thing. So life is with full of conscious choices. The more and more you do better choices, then the more and more upliftment and the more and more betterment and the more and more progress happens in our life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So life is a
Yes.
constant choice. So that we should
Mm-hmm.
remember and keep it in a mind. Then we can take the responsibility of ourselves and maybe take the help of the God when we are in difficulties. If both goes in hand, then definitely we can progress much in our spiritual life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. Well said. Yeah. Thank you.
Mm. Yeah. Okay. Good night. Divine dreams.
Good night. Thank you.
Pranam Maharaj.
Thank you, Swamiji. Shubh